I'm from the bottom of the map, man. I grew up in the struggle, and I had the awesome opportunity to accomplish a lot of things. The question I get asked the most is, when did you know? And I remember the first time I saw that question, it was the NFL Network. They ran a commercial several years ago. And on the bottom of the screen, some of you may remember this commercial, it said, when did you know? And based on the response of the players, you got the feel they were asking, when did you know you were a difference maker? When did you know you were a game changer? When did you know you had exceptional talent? That you can do something special, you can leave your mark. Every great leader wants to leave their mark. I remember they had Peyton Manning on the commercial. Peyton was still with the Indianapolis Colts at the time. He said, when they stopped calling me Archie's boy and started calling me Peyton, that's when I knew. D'Angelo Hall was in the commercial. He said, I was the youngest player at that camp, but I ran the fastest 40. That's when I knew. Steve Smith, I don't know if any of y'all remember Steve Smith. He was still with the Carolina Panthers at the time. Steve said, I had 2 catches for 2 touchdowns, and I threw up in between. That's when I knew. And I remember vividly several years ago pumping gas, asking myself if I had a chance to be in that commercial, and they would never have a lineman in that commercial. And I probably don't even look like a lineman anymore. I've lost 112 pounds, but I used to look like the devil's son-in-law, you know what I'm saying? But I remember pumping gas and thinking about this commercial, asking myself, when did I know? And once I answered the question, I told myself, no matter where I was in the world, and I've been fortunate enough to be on every continent in the world except Antarctica so far, I've told myself, once I answer that question, any audience I was in front of, I was going to answer that question. I need you to help me stay faithful to a commitment I made to myself. Ask me the question. Say, Shep, when did you know? I was 14 years old. It was before I had ever played a down of football. I had never even watched the game of football before. I was 14 years old. I was in the ghetto project department. There was nothing in the refrigerator but light bulbs and fingerprints. I had a gun in my mouth ready to blow my brain off its stem and out of the back of my head. And what took place in those next few seconds is truly what brought me on this platform in front of you all here this morning. See, I was raised in the struggle. I stand on this platform as a man who has 15 brothers and sisters. That's what most people say when I say that. Woo! I've got 9 brothers, 6 sisters. How many brothers do I have? How many sisters? I've got 9 brothers, 6 sisters, but I was raised by one mom. She worked 2 jobs. My mother worked overnight at Waffle House. Y'all ever heard of Waffle House? He was like, hey. During the day, she worked at a gas station. So how many brothers do I have? How many sisters? How many mamas? How many jobs? Guess how much money? None. Anybody ever heard a word called poverty before? Some of us know it all too well. I tell people all the time, I grew up poor. We couldn't even afford the R. We were poor. That's how I grew up.